2023, everybody. This is a back-to-back show that Brian is on. First time in 2023.
Is that true though?
Yeah. January, no. February, no. March, no. Okay. Well, there we go.
You're certain that January there wasn't? I think in January there was.
No, you were.
If I wasn't here, it wasn't because of me. It was because of you.
Yeah, there was different things. Or because of
but I mean,
here.
you're making it sound like it's always me.
Listen, we can get philosophical here, Brian.
Well, we can get technically correct.
Yeah, we can get technically correct. But let's get into Brian. We were talking before. Baseball starts tomorrow.
Woohoo! Opening day is always fun because it's a sellout, and it's your only sellout that you'll get for the Rays until the playoffs, if they're fortunate enough to make it. Which I think they will be this year. I think they finished second in the AL East. I'm still, Toronto. I'll believe it when they finally put it all together.
They're going to be tough, though.
They'll be tough, but the Rays are going to be tough. If Glasnow can come back and be the pitcher, the Rays probably have the best lineup, the best pitching staff in baseball.
As long as they can stay healthy, that's their problem.
It's the health, yeah. If McClanahan, so he put on muscle, he's ready to go 200 innings this year, he says. And if Glasnow, if they can get 150 out of him, I think they'll be in really good shape with just those two.
You know what scares me, though, when I hear about when they say pitchers, or I mean, even some players that say, yeah, I bulked up 15, 20 pounds of muscle. It always scares me just from thinking about the past, and maybe it was during the steroid era mostly, but I always feel like you see those guys that say they bulked up, and then they normally get injured by the All-Star break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you remember, hearing that a lot? I gained 15, 20 pounds. I'm ready to go. And then they kind of start hot, and you're like, oh, okay, this workout. And then they start to dip a little bit, and the next thing you know, they got a pulled hammy. I remember Ken Griffey when he was with the Reds. And he was like, yeah, I bulked up a little bit and getting in better shape. And then he pulled his hammy round in third.
It's steroids. And you see it also a lot of times it's core injuries and hamstrings. Those are the two that I think go almost always because the body's just not used to that extra mass that quickly. And
wasn't there a third baseman here for the Rays that kind of bulked up 1 or 2 years and had some good amount
and missed like 80 games each season. Yeah, Evan Longoria.
After he had his one, and then he got his big time contract.
Dollars to donuts. He was juicing. I would bet straight money on that.
I would agree with you, Rhett. Are you familiar with Evan Longoria bulking up back in the day?
I remember the lack of consistency towards the end.
Because
this wasn't even towards the end. This was he had gotten the contract.
He had one year.
Or three. No,
his year before his contract is when he hit his most home runs.
But then he had like 2 or 3 years where he was okay, and then I think he started really pressing. And once the real money kicked in for him, and then he missed. I want to say in like years 4 and 5 with the Rays, he missed substantial playing time. In those 2 years.
Let's see here. It would be his first year was 2012 when he only played 74 games.
Oh my God, I nailed it.
Yep. Because what I was saying is,
in years 4 and 5,
36.
I absolutely nailed it. Yeah, he missed to tail end, and then he pretty much missed the bulk of 2012.
Yep, right there, and then he
stopped juicing, and his numbers started to dip. And
he was hitting for power. Then he started dipping down, and then you can see. I believe it was when he hit 36. 2016, he bulked up again a little bit, and that's why his numbers went 273.
Yeah, but then
and 36, and then it dipped off again.
But then he did 156, and then 125, and then 129 after he left the Rays.
I think he bulked up after, like you're saying, after 2014 when he batted 253. I think he started bulking up again with the steroids. In 2016 had his best year, and then he got off it, and you just see.
Yeah, the decline. It's not even getting off. I think he got injured.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
the year following, he gets injured, and then he declines. Yeah.
Well, they were saying too. I think I read something that when they get hurt, they do go under a little bit more stringent testing.
Stringent
testing. Yeah, drug testing. So that's when a lot of guys get off the juice.
Yeah.
So I mean.
So the Rays' projected win total. 88. You're taking the over or the under?
88. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a good number.
This division is tough. Shit. I would have to say I probably am gonna take. I'm gonna take the over. I think they may pull out of their ass 89, 90, 91 wins.
They had over 90 last year, right?
I peg him at 90. I'm taking the over.
Every year it seems like that's the number for this Rays team.
Yes.
Like, are they going to hit 90 wins? You know, every headline you see is that's the number that a lot of people think of. So pretty good for the over/under. I also like the over, but I mean just barely.
If it's going to be like in the they could be anywhere. I think from 80 to 94. I would think that's their 95% certainty range, you know, that you could, if you had a graph, that's where I think the vast majority, and I think the most of them falling between 86 and 92.
And you know what's crazy is for a Rays fan, 813-90-BUBBA, 813-90-Bubba, is that I would have never really expected growing up as a Rays fan to have us always talking about the Rays being 90. And just thinking about if they had an 80-win season, how that would be such a letdown, especially with their payroll. I mean, you got to think. Ashley and I were talking about it yesterday with the black and gold or whatever, black and yellow for the Penguins or whatever. And I was like, well, maybe it's a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. She goes, who talks about the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Yeah, they hate the Pirates even in Pittsburgh. They fucking suck.
How depressing for like the pit. Like I always thought for the longest time growing up that, okay, it's going to be like the Bucks are, going, or it's going to be like the Rays, or just going to be that, small market team that we're going to have a 2-3 year run. And then the next 8 years, we're going to be down and we're going to keep doing it. But we've been so consistent. I couldn't imagine now going into a baseball season where we're not saying the Rays are going to win over 85 games. Well, I mean, look at the Reds, the Pirates. I mean, you just are sad.
Think about this. And when we're talking about the over-under, the Rays last season, they had no Tyler Glass now for the majority of the year. McClanahan gets injured in the second half of the season. Brandon Lau is hurt. Wander Franco is hurt. And they still win 86 games.
Yeah.
I mean, take that out. If they can stay healthy this year, they can win this division. I would actually say that their ceiling is 100-plus wins. If they were to stay healthy, Franco, but already we're starting the season. Glass now on the injured list. Franco out, and so it's the if they can stay healthy part is still a big if.
Lummy, are you a fan of Shane McClanahan?
Yes,
Sugar Shane.
So do you think?
USF Bull.
Okay, so do you think he can avoid injury this year? Stay consistent?
No.
I absolutely do. I think his injury last year was the product of pitching more innings than he's accustomed to pitching, and higher leverage innings than he's accustomed to pitching. I truly believe he's adjusted this offseason and he's ready.
But see, this is what I think. What I mean injury for him. I think that there's going to be some kind of strain. It's not going to be serious, and it's going to be almost like a do you really believe there's a strain? But I think
it's going to be a 3-4 day that gets dragged out into a 2-3 week deal.
Correct. I think the Rays are rolling. Yeah. They're going to say, look, you know what? Instead of just say, hey,
he'll be day to day.
Yep, day to day. But let him sit out for 2 weeks. Let him rest that arm. We're feeling good. We're going to hit the playoffs. Let's not push him, but let's not just because limit his innings or don't start him here or scratch this. Let's just maybe sit him out for a couple weeks and then he comes back strong.
And then you don't think he'll be the same when he comes back?
Oh, he'll be the same.
Okay.
I think it just
I thought that's where that take was going.
Oh no. I think he'll be the same. I think the Rays are gonna start pulling that whole move too. When Franco maybe he's gonna be day to day. He may be out a week, and that's their way of resting players, without kind of saying we're resting our players.
Well, they're also trying to keep their arbitration numbers down.
That's true too. That's a good point too. That's a good point too.
In some of the players' cases, in the case of McClanahan and Franco, it won't be that. That's not the reason, because Franco's already signed to a long-term deal, and McClanahan, his arbitration number is going to be well, number one, they won't let him get there. And number two, it would be massive anyways. I mean, his arbitration number is going to be for a number one starter. It's going to be pretty big.
Yeah, but I see him having some kind of strain, but that's just being them resting.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just think looking back and realizing what adversity this team went through last season in terms of injuries and stuff. I mean, Fairbanks, everybody was injured. And they still managed to win 86 games in a tough division where Baltimore absolutely overachieved. Boston probably slightly underachieved. Yeah. I think that washes out, right? But Toronto and the Yankees were still there. The Yankees had that incredible second half fueled by Aaron Judge. So I just think I just think the Rays, they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't have any doubt about
unless
that.
something crazy happens.
I mean, the West, everybody keeps saying, the West is getting better, the West is getting better. Bullshit. No, it's not. It's not. Listen, it's just not.
I'm waiting for Little Purple to call in and be like, you guys talk about a lot of injuries,
Well, he already said,
watch out for the Orioles.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson could be their next starting pitcher.
Well, he'll at least get the money that he wants since the Ravens
are so
cheap
in baseball.
Since they're so cheap.
Speaking of baseball and money, when it comes to the Rays, if you could explain this to me like I'm 5 years old, because again, I'm not the baseball expert here, but I had seen recently that the Rays are in a good position with their payroll, how it's going to continue to go up. And sooner or later, we could see them have over $100 million payroll for the first time in their entire history. Is that true? Is that something we can, expect to hear more of over the next few years?
So the Rays have to do a balancing act so for them, it's how much of the luxury tax money do you want to get subsidized by the other teams? The good news for them is that with the new TV contracts,
did they sign one?
Well, they need to locally.
Yeah.
They'll figure that out. But even so, I'm talking about the national TV deal. They were able to bump their payroll up the last couple of years because of the local deal increasing.
I can't wait for Bally to go under, by the way. Just a side note. That whole thing is garbage.
I actually don't know how I feel about it because I don't know where their inventory is going.
Terrible coverage.
It's nothing to do with that. First of all, their play-by-play, their TV guys have been fine. I have no problem with that. I like Dwayne's stats. I don't mind Brian Anderson. Their team's okay in terms of coverage.
Dwayne's
been the guy for years.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
The Bally is not dead yet. They're restructuring. They're trying to figure it out. But my fear is where it goes if it's not on that, and how it's distributed if Bally truly does go under, because it may not be a way that's easily accessible to local fans. Right now, because I have old people living in my house, I still have cable. So it's easy for me to get Bally and have access to the app.
Even on Bally, though, and maybe the conversation's not the same for the Rays, but it is not easily accessible for the average fan to watch their team on Bally Sports. You cannot fucking watch the Tampa Bay Lightning on cable in Tampa.
Well,
it is a disaster.
That's not true at all. I have no problems doing that. No problem.
That is correct.
Zero problems getting any Lightning game. On the cruise ship, I was watching the Lightning.
The first year that the Rays and Bally got together, it was a pain in the ass.
No, it was. I agree
but
with that.
Fixed. It's fixed now.
They fixed it. They
was
fixed
that
it
last
right
year?
away. No, that was like
2 years
three,
ago, 3 years
three,
ago?
4 years. 3-4 years ago.
It was 3-4 years ago.
Recent.
I remember having to go to a Hooters or a local bar just to watch the Rays game because Spectrum didn't have the Bally Sports, and you could
there was
only
a
catch
lot of
them on
overlap
the Sun
between the Marlins games and the Miami Heat games, and there was problems with that. But that's years ago.
Yeah.
Like again, I was on the cruise ship over spring break watching the Lightning on the Bally app from my cruise room. So
the app.
On the app.
Not on cable television.
Well, no, I watch it on cable television with no problem.
What about the road
cable
games?
is easy.
What about the road games?
They have almost all of them. I think 80. I think for the Lightning it was something like 80 or 79. Whatever wasn't picked up nationally, they've broadcast. There may have been one or two games.
Listen, maybe I need to check my
season.
sources. I've got a roommate who's a diehard Lightning fan who fucking hates Bally because he cannot find the games anywhere.
Your roommate just may be a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's on Channel 31. Usually
like every
so
single
what used to be
fucking
Fox
night.
Sports.
Every single fucking night.
Yeah.
Last night, watched it very easily. 4K.
Let's see here. I'm going to type
I
in.
bet you it's not on YouTube TV, and that's what the issue is.
Bally Sports?
Yeah,
there's different deals like that. I mean,
that's not cable.
Yeah,
okay, when you say cable, there's cable, and then YouTube is streaming, exclusively streaming. Now you can stream Spectrum, which I do, but it's still cable. And watching it through Spectrum, 0 issues ever, never, not one in the last since they worked it all out the first year.
Now, coming in with the baseball season coming up, we'll hit this here in the beginning. Who do you see being a surprise this year for a team? Like, do you see anyone coming from that last year that maybe just, obviously I don't expect the Reds or the Pirates to come out of nowhere.
They're very clear, and Washington's going to be the worst team in baseball.
But do you see any other teams that may just surprise some people this year?
Well, I think Baltimore is young and has the ability to do so. How much of a surprise it is after they overperformed last year, I don't know that people would deem that to be a surprise. But if I'm looking at teams like, I don't know, you could look at any team in the West. I think when you're talking about the Angels, the Rangers, I think those two teams are the Oakland won't.
No.
But the Angels or the Rangers, I think, could see a drastic turnaround in their win total. If you're looking out, I think the Cubs might be in a position to bounce back. I don't know that any of them are shocking, though. I don't think you're going to see they're just not good enough.
Are the Mets going to stay good?
The Mets, again, health, but they spent a lot of money, and they were a 101-win team last year, and they went out and spent a lot of money and got better in a lot of positions. I don't see how they're not flirting with 100 wins plus again this season. So
they got to make it to the postseason and not being everyone on the injured list.
I think Philly is a team that will fall back. I think that they made a good run to the World Series, but they're a team that I could see actually missing the playoffs this year.
What about the Padres?
They're primed to challenge the Dodgers in the West again. Although does anybody really challenge the Dodgers in the NL West?
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen that in a couple years now. I mean, because obviously, but I know San Diego. I mean, the payrolls now are absolutely they're ridiculous.
But San Diego's dealing with injuries. Their top two pitchers are out.
James Shields?
No. Blake Snell is actually their opening day starter.
Is he?
Yeah, because their number 1 and 2 are dinged up. So
is Chris Archer going to make an appearance too while they're at it?
Jesus Christ!
I mean, that's just hitting on every.
And you know what I love? I love the Rays fans that get worked up when they trade a fucking guy that they know is going to
33, 34 years old, 31.
No, it wasn't even with him. With Archer, he was like 28, but they knew that his ceiling was just so fucking, he was there.
He was all over the place, man.
But they knew they knew it. And the fans are, it's so cheap, blah, blah, blah.
No, they're smart. Carl Crawford too. Carl Crawford was that way.
I mean, Price maybe they let rid of him go a little early.
He wanted so much
money. But they also got rid of him while he had the most value. Like you can't get upset at these deals and these trades.
Look at this top 10. The first Mets, $299 million.
Yeah.
Whew. The Yankees 267, Padres 218, the Phillies 223, Dodgers. I thought the Dodgers were in the $200 million range.
They, I think, had some contracts come off that helped them get down. 179.
The Blue Jays 201, Angels 194, Braves 159.
Here's the thing, though. The Mets, their payroll is actually $375 million. So on top of their payroll, they're expected to have a payroll luxury tax of $103 million this year. The Yankees are looking at a $24 million payroll tax bill. Blue Jays, shockingly, 4. San Diego, 10. Phillies, 6. And Dodgers down to $3 million.
Let me scroll down here to find. There's the Rays.
So for the here's what you have to understand, though. The payroll tax and the reason why the Dodgers probably let their payroll drop is because the number of years that you're above it, you start getting really hit hard. And that's what I think is happening to the Mets is that they've been above it and they've stayed above it, that they have to pay the piper. That's why the Yankees, I think last season, they kept it below so that they wouldn't be anywhere near where the Mets are this year. They're still paying $24 million, but that's a large consideration for these teams as they try and go, navigate the payroll tax portion of the MLB salaries.
You know, one thing that's not really talked about, and I read this the other day, was the Ken Griffey contract. That Ken Griffey actually makes, I think they said
he is
$3.5 million.
Yeah, he's going to be the third highest paid player on the Reds this year.
Yeah, everybody talks about Bobby Bonilla Day, but nobody talks about Ken Griffey Jr. Day.
Exactly. He deferred his contract from 2009 to 2024, and he's making $3.6 million a year.
Well, Bonilla gets paid till what, 26, 27? I know that Bobby Bonilla Day is coming to an end soon.
I think it's 2030.
That's only he's only getting what, $1 million?
Yeah, it's like 1.3 or something.
I mean,
like
at
that,
least Griffey's getting his 3. I mean, they would have dragged that one out. Who knows how that thing would have lasted? He got 16 years on the Griffey deal.
Thanks for a nice national holiday.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, let's make another national holiday.
Actually,
for Ken Griffey.
I think Griffey would be the second highest player on the Reds this year.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, Will Myers is $6 million. And then their next highest guy is $2.6 million. Kevin Newman. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Newman.
Unless you are in
they got
fantasy baseball, I don't know how you keep track with all the players on all the other teams. It's really tough
hard
to do.
Mike
Moustakas
is on there for $22 million. Oh,
what? He's not playing though, right?
Yeah, his retained salary.
That's retained salary. They traded him to
Yeah, but that's what they're. I mean, geez, the Reds are just.
Yeah, if you count him and what?
Joey Votto.
Oh, Joey Votto. Okay, so that he is their one, I guess. Oh, so Griffey is third.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that is right.
But that's just nuts. I mean, they're not even competitive. When's the last time the Reds were competitive?
I think they had a couple good years in like the late to mid 2010s.
Did they? Wait, did you say 2010?
Like no, like the teens. Like maybe they had a good year in 2017 or 16.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You're right. Well,
maybe not though.
Maybe
no, they were trash in 17.
Well, let me ask you a question. We were trying to figure. I didn't look it up either. I kind of didn't really want to. I was tired. But when's the last time the Pirates were actually good?
Well, they had one. The year they acquired Archer, they weren't far out of the wild card at the time.
When's the last time the Pirates had made the playoffs then?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
because the only thing I could think of was like the 90s.
So the Reds last won 90. Yeah, there it is. 90 games in 2013, 97 in 2012. Those were there, and they lost in the NLDS in 2012 and the NL wild card in 2017. They made it in the COVID year to the wild card and lost, but that's COVID. They were 31 and 29. I'm not counting that as a successful season.
Well, do you mind looking up the Pirates for me?
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
I'm very interested in that. I feel bad because you think about it, the Pirates and the Reds are some of the oldest baseball teams. And
just a long legacy of failure.
Yeah, I mean, but
the Pirates going back to the Bash, not the Bash Brothers, but when they had Andy Van Slyke, Bobby Bonilla,
and Barry Bonds.
So the Pirates were last good in 13, 14, and 15.
Really? Really?
Yeah. It's not as long as you think, and that's the thing in baseball is very rarely do you see teams suck for a really long time.
I guess 10 years, and they're going to suck again this year. So about 11 years now.
No, I mean, in 2015 they lost. So let me be clear on that. 2 years they made it to the wild card, but they were 98 wins, a 98-win wild card team, which that's not very fair. And then 88 and 94. And then before that, though, it was a long time, 92. So they went from 92 to 2013 without making the playoffs.
Was that the Sid Bream? No, that wasn't the Sid Bream year. Sid Bream year, I think, was 91. The slide at the plate.
Yeah, well, they won the World Series in 79.
Oh, that's it? 79?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They got 5 World Series wins going back to 1909.
Well, at least they got a World Series. I mean,
they got 5.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty successful.
I mean, if people would argue with me about, let's see, the Rays not winning a World Series, it's like, oh, well, we haven't been around that long. But I guess we're going on, 25 years now?
This is the 25th season. They've made it to 2.
Yeah, 2.
But I mean, think of this era where you've got the Red Sox, the Astros, and the Yankees dominating World Series appearances in the American League. It's hard to even get there, nonetheless win it. The fact that they've made it twice during this era is pretty impressive.
Very true. Another one I want to hit on too. I know Rhett's big on it. Is what's going on in college basketball. Sorry, Rhett. I don't know. Did you check any NCAA out over the weekend?
Nope.
A lot of good games, man.
Yeah, I heard about it.
The Sunday,
I just could not be bothered to watch it.
Brian, did you watch it?
Absolutely. My wife's a UConn grad, so we cheer for UConn.
I saw Florida Atlantic kept the magic rolling, though. Good for them.
I did good game
in the final.
I did tell you guys that I last week that I had UConn as a very good shot of winning it all. Houston did let me down a little bit, but I knew that. But I did say they had 2 guys that were injured and they were susceptible to it. But
did he get shot?
What's that?
I said, did the Alabama guy get shot?
Yeah, I guess so. He didn't make a shot. That's the problem.
Well, a lot of people were saying was Alabama wrong for letting that guy play during the year?
Yeah, but it's Alabama. Then
they don't really care.
They don't give a shit.
But I mean, Rhett, listen, you have to check out at least the Final Four.
Okay, all right, I will check out the Final Four. I'm excited to watch a couple of Florida teams.
Listen, Brian, would you not agree that the last...
Wait, time out real quick. You get excited because the teams are located in the state in which you live? Like, that's silly to me.
Boy.
That's just silly to me. Like, I would not watch a World Series because the fucking Marlins were playing in it. Like, that wouldn't pique my interest at all. Like, you seriously... would get excited. It'd be different if it was a hometown team, right? USF's in there. Maybe you're not a USF fan. You're like, it's my hometown team.
I don't know what I have said.
State?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I said up until this point to lead you to believe that I am actively excited to sit down and watch these basketball games, but it does pique my interest. Yeah, that not only is there one fucking Florida team in there, but two in the Final Four. Florida Atlantic has never made it this far in their basketball history. I don't know about Miami. I literally do not give a shit.
Both.
But the fact that there are two teams
that
from
are
the state
geographically
that I live in, who have not been there before. Yeah, it fucking makes me invest a little bit more. Is that really that stupid?
Those kids practice 4 hours from me. I guess I'll watch the game.
That's exactly what I said.
It's pretty fucking stupid.
That's exactly what I said.
Brian,
that's exactly what I just told you.
I have to defend Brett on this one. Brett was just saying that since I said, he really needs to check out, and of course these games are probably going to suck ass, but I said he really needs to check these games out, and he said, well, at least they're from Florida, which will make it a little bit better, but I think...
No, it doesn't. It has nothing... Like, that to me, that's a silly... It's one thing, again, hometown...
Don't deter him from watching.
Hometown team, you live there, you're excited, there's an energy in your city for the team. I get it. But fucking Boca Raton and Coral Gables, like that'll bring you. Yeah, Miami might as well be another fucking state. Like to me, it's like it's northern Cuba. It's not southern Florida. It's not even here. It's we're Central Florida. I don't know. To me, it's a silly reason to be. Not that you're super excited. I'm not suggesting that at all. But would you be more excited in watching the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Super Bowl than you would be the Atlanta Falcons?
I actually would.
Like,
yeah.
That to me, that's weird. To me, that's weird.
Because I mean, there's a lot of things to you that are
weird.
But
The fact that they're in the same boundary of the state?
Yes, because there's still coverage on them, so you hear about them, and then also
I hear about the Falcons just as much, more actually, than I do the Jaguars because they're in the Bucs division.
Well, no, but then I know as growing up, and Rhett's obviously a little younger than me, but I know when the Jaguars came around, I kind of was like, oh, it's kind of cool when I was like. 10.
When the Bucs sucked royally,
well,
maybe,
but you look
10.
into it, and then you kind of
10.
see the history, and then you watch them every once in a while because they would make TV and the Bucs won it. So you kind of have that interest, like, hey, it's another team from Florida. Let's check. And then you see their history. They've sucked. They've never been to the Super Bowl. And then you kind of like, hey, you know what? It's a Florida team at least.
I don't know, man. To me, it's a stretch. It's
a
stretch. You guys, yeah.
But Red,
that's
honestly,
fine.
If you would have the FAU game, 79-76, obviously UConn just completely demolished Gonzaga. But the 79-76 game, Red, came down to the last minute. Really good game.
How do you not get a fucking shot off if you're Kansas State?
I was glad they did it.
They have that
Those
trash-talking
guys,
point guard, and he
Brett,
doesn't even take the shot at the end?
Yeah, hold on. Brett, this motherfucker was trash-talking. They wired up his brother in the stands.
Which was annoying as fuck.
No shit, because he'd be like, you ain't good as my brother. No. And then he would do these arrow shots after he made a three, and he was popping threes from 25 feet away. He would do these shots. He'd go in for a layup, and then do reverse hands and the worst shots. He was trying to show off because he was from New York. Well, and I'm glad they lost just because of that guy.
Did you see? It was a similar highlight in the women's tournament. The one girl did the too short thing. She got the rebound, pushed the defender out of the way, and basically picked it up. And then as she's running away, she turns around to the defender and she gives her the too short, kind of puts her hand on the ground, says, "You're too short." But the funniest part about the clip is that the bitch had to try 3 times to get the rebound in. She shot it once, missed it, grabbed it, shot it again, and then was talking shit.
Women's basketball is something.
Yeah, I wasted 15 minutes of my life for that South Carolina game. I would never get back. South Carolina, USF.
No, I didn't mind the first half. USF
South
played
Carolina,
competitively.
USF.
Yeah, they played women's, and I wanted.
You didn't
to
watch
myself.
it though, but it was literally your hometown team playing in there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is that poor Lummy, who fucking loves going to basketball games, couldn't be bothered with this one, and that's USF. That's your alma mater.
Hold on, I did. I watched. Hold on.
It's women's basketball.
Hold on, Rhett.
So you did watch it because it piqued your interest, but you're now admitting to me that it was a waste of your fucking time and you wish you didn't watch it in the first place.
Because it got destroyed.
Brett, it was the third quarter, and it was not basketball, okay? I'm going to tell you something right now. It was two tall chicks that literally, USF had I think a chick was 6'6", these chicks are 6'10", and literally it was them, and they still couldn't make a fucking, I gave it a quarter. I gave it one quarter. Right? Listen, just, you know what, tune in to the fucking, the Final Four in the fourth quarter. All right? Will you do that for me? If you don't want to watch the whole game.
Just text me when it's on.
Okay, the first game, not the fourth quarter, the second half.
Just text me when it's on, because I'll be doing something much more important.
The second half,
I'm sure.
The second half, when it starts, I'll text you. Listen, it's women's basketball.
Rhett's on edge today, man.
Rhett's 813.
Rhett's on fucking edge. What's going on your phone over there, buddy?
Let's go to Hot Carl.
What, are you getting broken up with?
No. I ran out of weed the other day.
You need a fucking chill pill, legit, bro.
I'm on my Dr. Dan trying to quit kind of thing.
Oh Jesus, 813.
Hey, it's South Tampa. Hey guys, I love basketball. I grew up in Indiana. You know, I started watching hockey when I was in '93, and I just have the hardest time watching the last 3-minute free throw contest bullshit that I can't get into it. I love it when it's close and they won't foul, but when it's 8 points and they're like, oh, we're going to foul and we're going to be right back. We're going to be right back to these words, and then we're going to go down and miss a free throw and then foul again.
You talking about the Miami-Texas game?
Just any college basketball game.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying San Diego State, Creighton was a really good game. FAU, Kansas State, that. I mean, for that douchebag to literally pass it off and then not even take the shot after every time he had the ball, he was forcing every shot
that was pretty
down
nuts.
The floor.
Norwell or whatever his name was.
And then 8 seconds left, and you're going to pass it off?
It was 4, but he passes it to a guy who's in a corner further away from the basket than he was, and then he had two guys. I mean, it was just... That's bad basketball, and that's a guy who fucking wilted when the light was truly on him. He ain't New York City. He's a punk-ass bitch.
Yeah, and you know what? He was forcing so many shots, taking every shot when you're like, oh, the guy's wide open in the corner when they needed a three, and he would do this ridiculous layup that he missed, and he was just trying to get the foul.
So who you got winning it, Lummy?
Who do I got winning it?
Yeah.
Probably UConn.
Why you say that with such disdain?
I want FAU to win.
Because it's not a Florida team?
Yes.
We got a 50-50 shot of a Florida team being in the finals. I don't think either one makes it.
You actually don't have a 50-50 shot of that happening, but because, I mean, Miami getting past UConn is going to be a tall order. UConn's a very complete basketball team right now.
Yeah, they are.
Can I ask you a question about hockey before I go, just to switch gears for just a second?
Yeah.
Right. So, in playoff hockey, this drives me bonkers, and I wish they would change the rules. They changed the rules for playoff baseball, where they're if you're going to walk somebody, now you got to throw 4 pitches, right? But in the playoffs, you don't have to in regular season. I loathe the fact that they will put their whistle in their pocket, not call a thing, and then a guy tips a puck out of his defensive zone, and they can't get their arm up fast enough to call it delay a game. That drives me absolutely, which is game changing in a lot of ways. And they meanwhile somebody gets tackled in front of the net, they don't call that. So I wish you would just get one delay a game, one fee, you get one, after that then we're calling it. But I know they'll never do that, but I'm so amped for the Bolts. I think they sucked at the right times. They're pulling the nose up. I'm just excited for playoff hockey to start. It seems like they've been playing playoff hockey because they've had a game every other night for 40 days.
Yeah, they finally got a break. It was a brutal stretch. They're veterans. They'll figure it out. They clearly have been resting some guys. They've been tweaking with their lineups. Braden Point's on fire. Kucherov's on fire. Stammer's holding his own. Killorn's having a great season. They've got the pieces and parts. The problem I see for the Bolts, and it's what's driven them to the playoffs the last, this whole run, is production and shutting down from the third line. And, if they can get that, I think they're in good shape. I don't know that the moves they made at the trade deadline this year are going to be as impactful as the ones they've moved they've made in the past. The Janot guy, I mean, they haven't shown a whole lot. And so we'll see what ends up happening with that. But, Toronto, Tampa Bay is going to become an annual thing, I think, in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we keep those Toronto fans in absolute misery as they make another first-round exit from the playoffs.
Woo!
Well, if you look at the Rangers, the Bruins, like those guys went all in. And, somebody's going to be left holding the bag. You know what I mean?
Well,
like they're going to have
all the teams that don't win it all are going to be left holding the bag because they went for it. They absolutely went for it. But, we'll see. We'll see if it plays. Playoff hockey is so tough, though. I mean, it's like, how do you judge being successful? I mean, the year the Lightning
can't do it in the regular season.
The year the Lightning had the best team in hockey, maybe one of the best squads ever, they get fucking swept out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's tough.
And I think something that not a lot of people. I mean, obviously, more and more people are talking about it now, but it's an evergreen talking point with the Lightning at this point. Like they're tired. No team in the NHL has played more hockey over the last 3-4 seasons than all of those guys on that roster. So,
yeah, that core has played a lot of games, but each and every one of them has also missed a substantial amount of time due to injury, with the exception of Vasilevsky.
That's correct.
So, yes and no. Kucherov had an entire year off. Braden Point's been injured the points of a couple seasons. Stammer missed essentially
a year.
So what about your second, third line guys then?
Those
are
the guys
who didn't miss a year.
Yeah, Killorn.
Now, the guys that you need to see more production out of.
But they're the guys that are playing. They're not playing 20 minutes a night. Those are the guys that are playing 16 minutes a night. So they have fewer minutes on their body than your top line guys that are out there for 20 minutes a clip. So fatigue absolutely still can play a role with this team, and this is why it's so hard. You don't see teams make it to back Stanley Cup finals. This team's been able to do it. Can they do it 4 in a row? I don't think so. I would not bet on it.
I think it's the Rangers this year out of the East.
We'll see. I mean, until Boston loses 3 games in a row, I just
have they lost 2 in a row?
They've lost 2 in a row, I think, once this season.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know
they may have even lost 3 in a row at one point, and one in overtime. But I don't think they had 3 regulation losses for sure in a row.
Well, if you follow the Spit and Chicklets guys, obviously it is Connor McDavid's cup to lose, right? Like he's won several. I think he's won 6 or 7 Stanley Cups. And I'm being facetious, and like it's just like he's a great player, but I would take Cooch over him any day. And people would say that I'm absolutely.
When you look at it,
it's not about even taking Cooch over him. They're a one-line fucking team, and you can't be a one-line fucking team and win in hockey.
Yeah, and I mean, any Barstool stooge is going to show favoritism to any Boston player ever.
Why
that's
is that?
Their
what
brand.
do you mean, Red?
Well, Connor McDavid is Edmonton.
Oh, never mind.
But he's in Edmonton.
Good try.
He's in Edmonton, but they
Swing and a miss.
Not the hockey expert.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right, Rhett. Like they would literally I almost don't want to go to Dunkin' Donuts after I watch their ads. I mean,
but it's no different than Mike Trout, right? Mike Trout is clearly, hands down, the best 5-tool player in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
His team sucks. His team has sucked. It's the same thing with Connor McDavid. And you can say Kucherov, the difference between McDavid and Kucherov to me is McDavid never turns it off. Kucherov, he gets in his own head. He will take shifts off. He will not press 100%. He makes stupid mid-ice turnovers, takes stupid penalties. So as much as I'm a homer and I love Nikita Kucherov, I would absolutely disagree with you. Connor McDavid is clearly the most talented and gifted player in hockey, and it's not particularly close. He's probably the second best player in our lifetimes other than Wayne Gretzky. I mean, I think he's at that point now.
Yager?
No.
Ovechkin?
No.
Ovechkin?
McDavid, skill-wise and performance-wise, McDavid is putting all of them to shame. All of them to shame.
Well, he's going to have to get married to get a ring on his hand.
And that very well may end up being the case for him. But we know in hockey, one player cannot lead it. This is a true team sport. This is not, where like NBA where one player can truly make a difference. This is a team sport. You're only on the ice for a third of the game at most. And every other sport, you're on the field at least half. At least half. And so that's the difference in hockey with individual player performance.
And one other thing, I know you hate jerseys, but the NHL just signed a 10-year deal with Fanatics to make jerseys.
Yeah.
But they're notorious for, like, if you look on, like, just Reddit hockey or whatever, they'll send you, like, a McDavid jersey. His number's 97, and it'll be, like, number 17.
No, Fanatics.
Like,
Fanatics is like remarkably bad when it comes to sports merchandise, memorabilia,
horrible.
All of that shit.
And they signed a 10-year deal.
Why aren't you cheering? They're a local company.
There is an automated Twitter account.
It's a local company.
They're right down the street.
They're a Florida-based company. You need to be cheering them on. Are you out of your mind?
Babyface,
aren't your standards,
Baby, aren't they a mile away?
They're right down the street.
Yeah,
by my standards, spoken very clearly here on the show.
You should have an incredible
spoken
interest.
very clearly here on the show about how much I overhype same state teams. I remember saying it. Everyone remembers hearing me say it. Brian didn't take anything and fucking run with it.
Let me pull the tape.
Nothing like that at all. Let me pull the tape. Let me pull the tape. Still waiting on the other tape, by the way.
You'll be waiting a long time on the tape that doesn't exist.
Get Rhett some weed.
Wait, hold on, Rhett. You're saying what Brian said? What did you not say?
I'm just being sarcastic. I did not say that I root for teams more heavily because they fucking live in Florida. He just took something that I said passively and then made this whole narrative that now is going to be a running gag for the rest of the show.
I think he stated, and I quote, there are two teams from Florida playing, so that,
and then I didn't even get
a little more interested in it.
That's not what I fucking said, though. I did not even get a chance to finish my sentence before you jumped on top of it and said, "Wait a minute, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard."
It is the stupidest. It is the stupidest. It is the stupidest shit.
That's so fucking stupid. I didn't even get to finish my point.
I turned into a country guy at the end.
Yes.
Thank you, Salt Tampa.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Oh, by the way,
Fanatics is bad though. I mean,
they're
terrible.
Listen, they're a Florida company. They're a Florida company, and I cheer them on because they're from the state of Florida. So go Fanatics.
What I did not hear is they got a 10-year exclusivity deal with Fanatics to do their merchandise or their team uniforms.
No, their jerseys.
The jerseys.
Like what the players wear on the ice.
Oh no.
So Brian, on the Bruins,
that's even worse.
They lost 3 games once. With an overtime loss.
Yeah, that's it. Yep,
and then they lost 2 times March 12th and 14th.
Yep, that's
the only time.
And I knew that the 3-game losing streak, one of those was not in regulation.
That is correct. Yeah. So, Brian, you are correct. You have been correct about a lot of things. Red says you are not correct about making his statement about him loving everything Florida.
Rhett needs a fucking toke. If somebody wants to Uber weed some shit to the studio, Rhett is in desperate need.
Please and thank you.
I may have a Nashville tranny next to me before this.
Okay, first off, we're talking about hyperboles. I get dump out of it. Okay, dump out of it. We're talking hyperboles, Brian. Jesus, Brian. We don't support Brian on the Bubba the Love Spoon show or Lummy Sports Show.
Where's the disclaimer? You got the board up there.
He doesn't have the disclaimer on this.
So with the
Lummy Sports Show,
next gen back, Lummy.
Yeah, on the Lummy Sports Show on the Bubba Radio Network, we do not think anything about what Brian just said.
I had a car.
He is a lawyer and he's not paid.
When I was younger that I bought from Nashville, and it blew up. It blew up on the ride back home.
It fucking exploded,
Tennessee.
Killed 6 people.
No, it didn't.
This is the Bubba the Love Spun show from the Bubba Radio Network on the Lummy Sports Show. We do not support or have anything to do with Brian Babyface. He is an independent person that comes in every once in a while. He is not paid here, and we do not stand by whatever he says on this show. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brian.
We're good.
Oh, we are good. No, NCAA basketball. But I want your guys' take on who's going to make it in the championship and who will win.
I think it'll be UConn versus Florida Atlantic.
All right. Looks like you and I are, and I guess we're both going UConn.
But UConn's winning that game. The UConn might win every single game by 15 points or more in the entire tournament. They look the part of a – now, granted, they lucked out and they got to play 2 West Coast Conference teams in St. Mary's and Gonzaga that were likely not up to the challenge of playing a team of UConn's caliber who had to go through the brutal Big East. I mean, brutal. But yeah, I don't see UConn losing it. Creighton going out, they were the one team that I thought might be able to beat UConn since they had beaten them already this season.
Shitty call.
Yeah, well, it happens.
But who do you got?
He grabbed him at his hip, dude.
Whatever you play,
he grabbed him at his hip.
Oh, you let him play.
You don't let him commit fouls just because there's 3 seconds left in the game.
You do.
Rhett, would you agree with that? Like foul, you don't blow your whistle and call a clear foul. He grabs the guy's left hip and pulls him back as he's shooting, and his shot comes up short, and they called the foul. Do you call that with 3 seconds left in the game if you're an official, or a second and a half, or do you let it slide?
I mean, I can say that. Oh, fuck. Drawing a football comparison here. Going back to the Super Bowl, we kind of saw a similar thing happen. Final minute of the game, we got a flag that didn't necessarily change the momentum of the game, but a lot of people said maybe should have let that slide.
This changed the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he should have just gone ahead and let that slide.
Right, what are we putting you down for? Are we putting you down for a Miami, Florida, Atlanta?
That's the only way he'll watch. He'll be wearing his Florida shirt, just the state of Florida on it.
That I got from the rest stop. My Florida hat.
Yeah.
Welcome to Florida.
Swim trunks and flip-flops.
With your hat, too. Your little...
21 million people win tonight, folks, because we got Florida versus Florida. It's an all-Sunshine State matchup.
And that's how they'd bill it, too.
Oh, well, I mean,
100%.
It'll be the Battle of the Beach. No, it's going to be the Battle of the Beach.
In Texas.
Even though Coral Gables isn't near a beach, it'll be the Battle of the Beach.
I mean, yeah, Florida Atlantic's pretty close to the beach.
Yeah, no, they are.
Well, I'm going to go on a limb here, Brian, since you're going UConn. I'm going to go FAU.
Good for you.
I hope FAU wins. Right, Rhett? We want a Florida team.
I definitely don't want that with them coming into our USF's conference.
Oh, because they're going to get our recruits?
Well, they are very clearly now have become the number 1 team in the AAC.
Yeah, didn't I say, hey, guys that are on Twitter, that we're like, oh, we should be able to get the FAU coach. We're a step up. I don't see that probably happening in the same conference. You're in the Final Four. I'm going to leave FAU and go to that other conference school, USF, because they have better facilities.
We do, but we won't if they win the national
I was
title.
Say for how much longer?
We won't if they win. If they will pour all that money into there.
Yeah, but hold on, their facilities are not that bad.
No, Dusty May walked into that place and goes, literally, he said, "I've committed career suicide." He took the job without ever going to the school.
Well, that's an idiot.
If he's the head coach of that, it's the hottest head coach in America right now.
But they did just build a brand new weight room and athletic facilities.
To get up to Conference USA level. Like, that's what they spent their money on, is to get to Conference USA level with that stuff. Like, they were way behind. When I think this is Dusty May's 4th year there. When he arrived, they didn't have that. They didn't have any of that. And he literally said, "What have I done? I've just committed careers." Are you allowed to say the S word anymore on social media? Career. I just ruined my career.
Yeah, well,
unalived his career.
I saw the facilities back in 2007. 2007. I mean, they weren't that great, but I mean, at that time it was the Sun Belt, so.
Dude, that was 16 years ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but they weren't that bad. They said they've upgraded them.
You saw then. I thought you played for Howard Schnellenberger.
Well, you
wouldn't have said I saw them if you actually
the basketball
played.
Facilities.
Oh, okay.
The basketball facility is what I'm talking about. So I'm guessing since they upgraded them in 13 and 14.
Were you ever good at basketball, Lummy?
Yes, I was okay. Like my high school years, I was able to dunk. I weighed a lot, 230, 235. And then I broke my ankle, and I said, no thanks.
A lot of weight coming down on that ankle.
No, I rolled my ankle getting a rebound. I was only 235. I was 6'5", 235 as a freshman.
Were you a tight end?
No, I was lineman.
Yeah, I gained freshman, sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, and then I gained weight my junior year. 265 my junior
Basketball is a sport that passed me by. I played it until my freshman year in high school.
And
I was on the
then
freshman
you stopped
team.
growing.
Yeah, the rest of the people passed you by, not basketball.
Everybody else passed me by.
You were the same height as you are now?
Not much shorter.
Did you wear a jersey when you played, or
he refused?
No,
he was out there in a fucking white T-shirt. He was out there in a white T-shirt.
He wrote his school's name on the front of the white T-shirt. I refuse to wear a jersey.
I wore a polo.
You wear a button-down shirt. Brian, I mean, were you say you're pretty good. I mean, I've never seen you
I never
play.
said I was good. I was very mediocre. I'm mediocre at all sports.
Whoa. When we talked about having the radio.
Yeah, and I said, well, compared to the crew that you had in here at the time when we were talking about making
what are you talking about, caveman?
That's the most athletic guy I know.
Seth?
Yeah.
I don't even know who else was here.
Who was here back then? Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Dan and Jay?
Yeah.
Your boy, Lummy?
Do you think they're better?
I'm not like Dan would. I'm sure when Dan was practicing, he forces himself to be decent at stuff. Like if you've ever watched him when he got into the guitar trying to play it,
yeah,
it looked like the guitar was constantly trying to run off of his lap. He held that thing so fucking tight.
Have you?
And it was so forceful. Playing was so mechanical and forceful.
I will say we can only clown it so much because his technique fucking works for some reason. Lummy, you saw it in person as far as I know.
His bowling?
You ever seen him bowl?
Yeah.
Well, that's what everyone does now.
He throws the ball like a fucking Kamehameha from Dragon Ball Z. He puts
Yeah.
everything
Hadouken!
he has.
Hadouken!
Yeah, but Rhett, that's the way. Like, we have a lot of younger people now that are playing in our league.
That's the way champions bowl, I
and
guess.
they're all doing two-handed
the spin
bowl.
deal, fucking...
And putting your whole body into it with the speed. And it's working, man. There's a lot more 300 games now.
Yeah, and then you throw your back out at 35 years old.
No, you actually probably far less likely to get injured doing the two-handed press roll versus a traditional bowling motion.
Maybe if it's a more refined two-hand press, but that Dr. Dan special, man, that's got to hurt after a while.
No, he's a freak athlete.
Freak accident, is he?
Well, he had to.
Speaking of somebody juiced in his younger age and now is, where he's at.
Did he ever admit that?
Oh, come on. Come on, dude.
Come
of
on,
course.
buddy.
I look at that picture. I don't see it.
Hey, how about this? If he can sue me.
That's all natural.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Brian?
I see hard work and dedication in that picture right there, Brian.
I see a few shortcuts.
I don't think there are any chemicals in that picture at all.
Good genes.
I don't see any.
They've got good genes. I'm not taking that away from him, but come on.
He wasn't even wearing jeans in that picture.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Brian. I don't see, as Rhett said, pimple marks or needle marks or anything like that. So, what you're claiming is just rumors. I think you obviously have never done steroids, so you would not be able to see, the transition that happens. And I think Dr.
Unlike Lummy, you, a guy who's never done steroids, unlike Lummy, you just can't see it. You just don't get it.
Listen, I've never done steroids, but I've seen transitions, and I believe Dr. Dan is a medical doctor. And
oh, you believe that? Good for you. That's the way to take a principled stance in the face of all the doubters and haters out there. Lummy believes that Dr. Dan is a medical doctor.
And he wouldn't do anything like that, Brian.
He wasn't at the time he was juicing. Oh, he probably still was, but...
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about, Brian. So, I mean, I'm sure
he was actually studying law at the time to figure out the legalities of juicing in certain situations.
Exactly, before he even did it.
Right,
so,
yeah. Please.
Let's go back. Let's go into a Rhett topic. 813-90-BBB8, 813-90 Bubba. What is going on with your boy Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, Rhett, what's going on with your boy Lamar Jackson?
Where's he going?
Boy Lamar Jackson. I mean, if you ask every team in the NFL, they have zero interest in him. But
where's he from originally?
Well, I would like to.
I'm pulling for him. We all got your back, Lamar.
Nope. Not even gonna say what I was about to say.
Yeah. He's our neck of the woods, right? Miami area.
Only 4 hours away.
Oh, short drive. It's like the people from Delaware cheer for the people from New Jersey because it's so close.
Yeah, they're all wrapped in. I mean, look, there's been rumors. They came up on the MSN app. That Lamar, the Bucs are looking at Lamar.
There's no way.
No,
it's a money issue. There's no way that they can make it work. Number one, number two, they're not going to invest their entire future, which they would have to, because the trade that would have to take place for them to get Baltimore to rework and do the contract in such a way, because it would have to be a sign and trade deal, would be
Yeah, and a lot of the teams on the list already to get him are going to have to do some more shedding of their weight. Like I think Washington is a top candidate, even though they came out and said they don't have the money to be involved, which I still believe. But they would have to shore up $20-25 million.
I saw on this thing that Indy will most likely try to trade for him on draft day.
I think Indy has become a very strong possibility over the last week.
Could you imagine Gardner Minshew starting for the Baltimore Ravens? Because that's what the trade would take.
Yeah, it would have to be.
You have to include Minshew.
Well, they got Baltimore, I believe, in this little scenario. Lamar goes to Indy, and then Baltimore would pick the kid from Kentucky.
Will Levis, who, by the way, I don't know if you had seen, apparently he's doing so awful in his pre-draft interviews that like he's coming off as incredibly arrogant and self-serving, and his draft stock is not going up after this week.
Well, I mean, Baltimore supposedly is interested in him.
They're saying he's a guy that could go day 2 at this point.
Is Baltimore actually saying that, or is that just a number people threw out because of where Indy would have their pick, or
both?
Yeah,
technically both, but they said I guess they've had a lot more scouts like watching him, sending them like to talk to him, different things like that. I mean, that's obviously rumors, but
I mean, they could be looking at him as a second-round pick, just like Red said. If he slips that far down, then they'll look at him.
And I got to tell you too, my favorite part. You just scrolled by it, Lummy, but that headline down there. Rob Ninkovich implores Lamar Jackson to stop tweeting. That's what's been on my mind about Lamar all week.
Yeah,
how fucking obnoxious he has been on social media.
Well, I think he's certainly.
He's got every right to do.
Well, I think he's gotten the message that you are not worth what you thought you were worth, and that is bothering him.
Based off of his Twitter feed, he is definitely in denial.
He's pushing back, he is trying to change the narrative, and the narrative that's going to emerge from this is that Lamar Jackson is not worth the money, and Baltimore is going to win this game of chicken, or he's going to sit out a year and Baltimore's still going to win this game of chicken. Like there's no scenario where Lamar's a winner in this at this point. If he does not get traded on the draft, he's fucked.
Well, 100%. And the longer this goes on, you've heard more and more people say that like, oh, well, look at the market value for Lamar. Look at what teams are bending over backwards to get him right now. Maybe Baltimore knew what they were doing.
Oh, they totally did. They knew the market. They put the feelers out. They knew that the Browns were the only franchise stupid enough to do a Deshaun. And I will say this, I absolutely believe that there has been collusion amongst the owners in the league after that Deshaun Watson deal to make that a one-off that never happens again, because they do not want that guaranteed money to a quarterback to become a precedent.
Well, and guaranteed money to any quarterback to become a precedent, but guaranteed money, of all quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, a guy that cannot stay healthy,
quarterback who's had injury issues,
has not finished the regular season playing over the last 2 years. Like, listen to the way Arthur. Blank from Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, listen to the way he talked about Lamar though. Like he wants to put this guy on a pedestal, but says, hey, he's a running quarterback who has finished the last 2 years injured. So
concerned over how long he can play the style of game.
But they're also trying to drive down his value at the same time.
Of course.
Indianapolis,
nobody's going to come out and say we want him. He's our man, no matter what.
Indianapolis, that's Coach GM. Chris Ballard said, anytime a special player is available, which he is, you got to do the work, but you never know how any of this will work out. Colts owner Jim Irsay, fresh off some pills, always looking for great dynamic players, but it's important not to compromise your future to do it.
Hey,
I mean, look, they haven't come out and said they're not interested. So, I mean, I think Indy could be.
Another talking point that I have heard, and obviously you can take this one seriously, rapper Meek Mill texted his good buddy Robert Kraft and said that Lamar Jackson wants to be traded to the Patriots.
Yeah, but Robert Kraft said that's ultimately Bill's call.
Yeah, and Bill said, we're riding with Mac.
Yeah.
Which is smart.
The thing with that teams are smart. If you are interested in Lamar in any way, shape, or form, they're really smart to just let this devolve and play out, because the rift between him and Baltimore is only going to grow, especially as Lamar becomes more and more bitter over misplaying his and misunderstanding what his worth was. Because I guarantee you the deal that Baltimore was offering him is the best deal that he's been told he would get overall, and he, out of pride, is not going to want to take that deal. So I think if you're a team, you could ultimately let it get to the point where it's the damage between Lamar and Baltimore is irreparable, and he wants out no matter what, and Baltimore is then forced to take what they can get for him at this point rather than get nothing for him.
Who's this ESPN reporter? This guy should be fired.
Why?
I was looking at this thing real quick. NFL Power Ranking 32 poll after free agency, just to see who their best free agent pickups have been. Now, if I was to ask you, Brian and Rhett, who do you think the Miami Dolphins' best pickup has been?
Free agent signing?
Well, no, it technically is moves.
Okay.
It's
Ramsey.
moves.
Ramsey or Tunsil?
Yeah.
Yeah. They put, hold on.
Or not Tunsil. He went back to Houston. You know what I mean.
This thing. Top under the radar move, signing quarterback
under the radar move, Lummy. That means
doesn't
not
matter.
The big news move. Not the big news move.
No, but Mike White, I don't give two shits. Under the radar move, Mike White shouldn't even be on there.
But it's under the radar.
Yeah, it's under the radar. That guy's going to be cut by the end of the year.
Look at the other ones, though. You just saw Marcus Mariota was on somebody's.
That guy should be fired. It's a clickbait article.
Maybe you should just practice reading the article a little bit more.
No, you know what? It's a clickbait article. Listen, I wanted to talk about Brian's favorite guy. Rhett brought this up. Chiefs superfan accused of robbery, missing $1 million bond warrant issue.
Hey, did you actually see unconfirmed? I don't have concrete evidence that this happened, but there was a shootout with FBI over on the West Coast, and a lot of people believe it's this guy who cut off his ankle monitor the other day and has been on the run.
$1 million bond.
Fan on the run. Super fan on the run.
I mean, like, Brian, something like this.
I'm almost rooting for this guy. Like, just
are you?
fucking
No
Robin Banks.
way.
Robin Banks to go sit front row with the Chiefs.
Now look at this
and
guy.
then they let him delay what was it? They let him delay his bail hearing so he could fucking go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then he ran away. Like, why would they do that? Come
look
on.
at Brian. Brian, does this guy look like a criminal?
This is a
to you?
self-inflicted wound
like
on behalf of the
biggest douche.
But hold on,
no, he does.
Let's look at this guy.
Does.
This guy looks fun. He looks happy.
No, I want to.
And then you come
have
down
nothing
here.
to do with either one of those tools.
I mean,
he's gonna be in Arrowhead week 1. I don't know if they open the season at home, but when they hang that banner, he's gonna fucking be there, one way or another. I mean, that is his ultimate goal.
It's a big story. I mean, look, the mystery of a Kansas City.
All
Chiefs
he's gonna do is just buy another fucking mask.
He's
just gonna let him in.
Yeah, he's
gonna be the Chiefs cat instead of the Chiefs wolf.
Yeah,
this
he
year.
needs to change up his whole gimmick.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian, if you were on the run and you cut your, would you go to a Bucs game?
Hold on, Brian. Important context here. If you were on the run and you were a super fan,
would you show up
when you have this level? When you have this level of notoriety here,
no, Brian, would you show up in an outfit like this? Because listen, it's week 1.
Sure,
they're gonna.
Sure. If I found myself as a bank robber who was a super fan and cut off my ankle monitor and was missing somewhere, I would make my surprise. In fact, I would run out on the field and make them take me and arrest me at midfield during the banner raising. That's what I would do.
Try and run around and dap up all the players you can before they drag you off.
Absolutely.
Brian, now, in serious here. What if you had to dress up for a game? Like, what would you go as? Like, would you like a tiger?
Who's my team?
The Bucs.
Yeah, well, this guy's team is the Chiefs.
Why would I
fucking wolf? It doesn't matter.
He's a wolf.
Well,
doesn't
no,
matter.
Their mascot is some sort of like wolf type like creature, right?
I don't fucking know.
Like, what's that Chiefs thing? Is it a rat? What is it? It's a fucking wolf, I think. I think it's a wolf. What is the Chiefs mascot?
I'm looking here. Chiefs
I think so. I think in this case it makes sense.
It's Casey
Wolf.
Absolutely.
It's in his name.
So okay, there you go.
So what would you? So you would dress up
So
like Bucko
I would not
Bruce?
dress up as a tiger to go to the Bucs game, buddy.
In this hypothetical situation, I don't know if you're necessarily a Bucs fan.
I would, if I was to be a super fan, what in Tampa Bay?
Yes.
What would my gimmick be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, I mean Bucko Bruce. I mean, you got long legends. What's his name?
Yeah, I mean,
what's his name? What's a super fan?
Big Nasty.
Yeah.
You know, he's a legend. His whole gimmick is the
What is it?
The tongue thing. He sticks his tongue out. He does that on all the promotional videos and the commercials. He's got the tongue.
That's
right?
his gimmick, Brian.
The guys in the front row who paint their faces, they also got the tongue. But there's a lot of other Buck super fans who have gimmicks.
I would change my super fan name would be Dale Mabry Dan, and my hat would have a motorized stripper that went up and down on a pole.
The 2001
and
UFO on top.
I would have a gun that shot out Bucko Bucks or something like that to all the fans after every score. And they could use them. Whoever got Bucko Bucks could save them up and cash them in for great prizes and autographs and chances for meet and greets with Dale Mabry Dan on my website, DaleMabryDan.com.
Oh, that's a great idea, Brian. Will you please become a super fan?
Yeah, there you go. That's what I came up with on the spot in 30 seconds for my super fan idea.
I mean, would you paint your face though?
I would bring absolutely to every game would be one of the girls from one of the Dale Mabry clubs that would come with me.
Now, would you?
That would be my +1 at every game.
Would you hide your a face?
Yeah, would you hide your identity?
Does Dale Mabry Dan want to be seen in public? I think Dale Mabry Dan likes the attention.
Because some of those guys like to do it. They like to hide their identity, but a lot of them also really like the attention.
Yeah, so if you're Dale Mabry Dan,
you
would when Fox 13 was interviewing you, you'd be like, yeah, babyface Brian from Hunter Law.
And then you'd be like, can you cut that out? Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Can you guys dump that for me?
I think I think I would embrace the pirate theme and at least have some sort of facial covering going on.
Not facial hair though.
Well, it may involve a faux beard.
Oh.
Full transformation into Brian the Butt Pirate.
Well, it's actually Dale Mabry Dan, and he's a pirate who loves strip clubs. He's here for the booty.
We definitely
surrender ye booty.
I can't wait to
Dale
see
Mabry Dan.
I cannot wait to see Brian the Butt Pirate out at the games next year, man.
Brian, can we make some kind of bet on this that you would actually have to show?
Can we make some kind of bet?
There's no scenario where I'm doing this.
What do you mean?
You know what though? You can take my idea and run with it, Lummy.
I'm not gonna dress up like I'm not dressing up.
Dale Mabry Dan.
Yeah, I'm Dale Mabry Dan. Listen, I mean, Dan can do that if he wants, but or you. But I mean, Brian, I think you're the perfect size. You're short enough so when you have your little stripper pole hat on, you're not blocking too many people. But Brian, I really think that would be big for you.
I'm going to take it under advisement. I'm going to seriously.
But let's make a bet on something though before the next season.
It's never happening. It's never happening.
Sure, it is.
Because in order to do it, I would have to bring a stripper with me to the game. So,
well, I mean, that was your idea.
Yeah, the whole thing was my idea. You guys added nothing to it, Dale Mabry Dan.
Oh, come on, you don't think
cheered it on?
Come on, you don't think Bubba's got a couple of strippers you could call?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's Bubba the Love Sponge.
Yeah, I know, I got that, but no, I mean, yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good for now.
They might have some miles on them, but they are still strippers.
Yes, that is true. That is very true, Rhett. What's going on with Aaron Rodgers?
Nothing.
Probably just sitting at home smoking dope right now.
The Jets and the Packers are just playing a game of chicken, and the Jets are going to win because the Packers have no choice. They have to get rid of Aaron Rodgers.
So me and Lummy kind of talked about it this morning a little bit on the show. We know that the Jets obviously have much more leverage, but everybody gets this feeling that the longer they wait, if this is something that's going to happen after the draft, or the Jets just totally lax about it because they don't even want to give up those 23 picks anyways.
No, what I've heard is this. This is the sticking point, according to the latest report that I read today, is that the Jets are willing to give a 2023 second and a conditional 2024 second that could become a first with games played and things like that.
Right.
However, they want a protected 2025 return second round pick from the Packers in the event that Aaron Rodgers doesn't play in 2024. So essentially they're saying we want insurance on our 2024 pick
because we're going all in.
You'll give us a pick back in 2025 if Aaron Rodgers retires after 2023, which that's not the Packers' problem at this point. That's between Aaron and the Jets. If Aaron really wants to be a Jet, then he needs to make that guarantee to them that, look, as long as I'm not injured or I don't have a major life change, I will come back and put their mind at ease. But Aaron Rodgers, being the fucking prick that he is, won't do that. He won't guarantee that he'll play for them. Assuming, again, I don't have a family issue or I don't have a major injury. There's not and it's never a guarantee because you're not forced to, but that reassurance that, okay, if you guys make this move for me and you're going to go all in and you're going to bank on me and I'm asking you to do this and I want you to do this and I got you to go out and sign Lazard and I got you to go out and sign Mercedes Lewis and I got you to go do all these things because I'm the fucking ringmaster, Aaron Rodgers, the amazing, then I will play for you in 2024.
No.
That's all they're looking for, and he won't give them that.
Of course not.
No, he's not going to give them that until the 11th hour, when you're stuck with...
Because he's a drama fucking queen.
Well, I mean, look.
And P.S., the Jets ain't winning shit with him as their quarterback.
Well, then he's definitely...
No, seriously, I've been telling people that, and Lummy said...
Well, we went through their schedule.
When you look at that schedule, that is a Jets team that is going to struggle to get to 10 wins with Aaron Rodgers.
They have a really tough schedule. Brian, I don't know if you've looked at it. I mean, I know you're a Mr. Schedule guy, so...
I mean, you think about how much better just the division has gotten and, by itself, but they open up with KC.
Yeah, that's, And Aaron Rodgers historically is not a great first-game quarterback.
Just
because he doesn't practice, and he doesn't work with his players in the offseason because he's a great fucking teammate.
Well, I mean, you never know. He could be changing his ways.
He's such a prima donna bitch. I can't think, and I don't care about his political views. This has nothing to do. I don't give a fuck if he cares about the vaccine or not.
Whoa, we don't talk.
Nothing. No, it has nothing to do with his political views. My stance on Aaron Rodgers, nothing to do with any of that. Everything to do with the way he's comported himself over the last 4 years as a human being and an NFL football player. Total terrible dude.
Brian, let's hypothetically, because Rhett, you said what, 9-8?
8, 9, 9, and 8.
Okay, now let's go through their schedule real quick.
Their ceiling is 11 wins.
Home and away here. Washington, just say W or L for Brian. Washington.
W.
Eagles.
L.
Falcons.
W.
Chargers.
W.
Chiefs.
L.
Texans.
W.
Bills.
We're at home
at
now?
Home, yeah.
They'll win one of the Bills and Dolphins. So I'll say L on the Bills, W on the Dolphins.
And Patriots.
L.
Cowboys away. These are away now. Cowboys.
L.
Giants.
W.
Broncos.
W.
Browns.
W.
Raiders.
W.
Bills.
L.
Dolphins.
L.
Patriots.
W. I don't know if that works out too.
I think.
I can't.
I think you got 10 or 11 wins. So.
Their win total is projected currently at 9.5. I don't know how Aaron Rodgers changes that. I almost called him Brett Favre because that's what he's become at this point. He's become that level of drama.
Favre, listen.
He's become that level of drama. He's even looking at a fucking team that Brett Favre ended up going to. That was dumb enough to take him at the end.
Yeah, the Bucs should have got him at that point.
Oh, God.
That sucks. We
Sell
didn't get
tickets, I guess.
What, the Jets?
No, Brett Favre with the Bucs.
Well, the reason he didn't go to the Bucs is because he wasn't yapping on McAfee every fucking Tuesday. I guarantee you the Packers wanted to do the same thing to Aaron Rodgers that they did to Brett Favre.
Yeah, but
he went to bed thinking he was going to be in Tampa Bay.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, they never gave Aaron Rodgers... Like, if he went to bed thinking he was going to be on the Jets and then they fucking shipped him off to somewhere else just like they did to Favre, they can't do that now.
No, not at all.
They don't. Number one, nobody else wants him. Like, that's the weird thing in all of this is when you say the Jets don't have... They absolutely have they have every ounce of... The Packers have zero leverage. If Aaron Rodgers reports to optional workouts on April 15th or 17th or whenever it is, that is going to be the shit show of shit shows. And you know who would do that?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Because I guarantee you right now, he wouldn't be at optional workouts.
You don't think so?
Had the option. No, not if he was going to play for them next year. He'd be like, yeah, I'm hurt, guys. I'll see you in the summer.
It would be kind of a Dick Swagger move, though.
Oh, it's a total Aaron Rodgers move.
It would be. I feel like that's something you would do too, Brian.
Well, of course. That goes without saying.
If you're a big-time quarterback like him.
But I've got the swagger to do it. Aaron Rodgers does not.
Oh, so you said you have a little more swagger than him?
Just a little bit at this stage in our careers. I got more years left in my career than he does in his.
Well, you're about the same age as him, right?
I'm 41.
What is he, 39?
He's 39, yeah.
Oh. Well, Brian, you're way better looking than him.
Will he be 40 by the start of the season?
I know I have that on him at least. Aaron Rodgers is not an attractive fellow, huh?
No, not at all.
Will he be 40 by week 1?
I mean, just look at the fact he's still single too. Like, what does that say about him?
He can't hang on to anybody.
He's just an atrocious human being. You know it's true. Like, if we heard he's so lucky. Like, when he goes to the Jets, we're gonna hear so many fucking tabloid stories about Aaron Rodgers. I can't wait.
I can't wait for week 5 or 6. He's playing on the Jets. They're like 2-3.
He'll turn 40 during the season, by the way.
And then you start to hear the ex-girlfriend come out.
Oh, it's going to be
right. That's what's going to happen. It's going to start with that.
So fucking phenomenal. This private guy who's gotten away with it in a small market town is now going to go to the biggest fucking thirsty market in the world.
Yeah, and don't think that there's people in Green Bay who don't hate him after everything that's happened. Like I think a lot of people get it misconstrued based off of the media reaction and obviously hearing one side of the story from Aaron Rodgers on McAfee, but it's like. A lot of people fucking hate him now. Like Bubba, prime example.
Well,
I mean, I know he's a little wish-washy with NFL players anyways, but it's like a guy like that.
Brett, how big's his dong?
Right.
Tell me about his dong now.
A guy like that who has wanted nothing but the best for Aaron Rodgers and has wanted nothing but him back in Green Bay for the longest time. For 2 years now, 2 calendar years, he's always had to sweat about having Aaron Rodgers come back and play in Green Bay.
Like
he didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know if he wanted to come back or not. And it's like all of those people fucking hate him now for putting them through that. Like,
as they should.
Yeah,
as they should.
It is a large majority of the fan base.
He is such a me guy.
Better believe that there are enough people in that small-ass town who either bumped into him in public one day or was around when he was making an appearance, heard someone say something to him, whatever the fucking case may be. Just like Brian said, those tabloid stories get out, and the sources are not always, the most reliable thing in the world. But regardless, people are going to start talking about him much more than they did when he was the Packers quarterback.
And he's not going to. He does not have the mental makeup to handle it.
Well, I don't think he has the mental makeup to handle New York media either.
I don't think so. Not at all.
Because I mean, you don't talk about tossing him fucking cupcakes up there in Green Bay when you're the Folktown hero for 20 years.
Yeah, he's been served brie, and he's going to start getting some hard fucking cheddar.
Yeah, but when he's Jesus. When he's a winner, it all change.
Winner,
yeah. He's a winner. He'll be the next Joe Namath. Mark Sanchez.
Chad Pennington.
Calais Campbell.
Easy for you to say.
Calais Campbell, 1-year deal. Do you think that's going to make a big difference for the Falcons?
Absolutely. I think that makes them Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah, I think between that and then new wide receiver one, Scotty Miller, the Falcons are a team to be reckoned with.
Whoa, Scotty Miller's on the team?
Yeah, you didn't know he signed with Atlanta.
I'm a type of person that likes ex-players, so I'm going to be cheering really hard.
Is he from Florida? Because I don't know how to feel about him.
No, Bowling Green.
Fuck him.
Listen, I like ex-players, Brian, so the Falcons are a favorite of mine now. I love Scotty Miller when he was here.
I know how big of a New Orleans fan you were when your boy Jameis went over there.
Yeah. You just kept going with him, rolling with Winston,
I mean, Scotty Miller,
eating dubs.
Wanted to cut last year, but
eating dubs with your boy.
Jameis Winston, who re-signed just to become a backup quarterback.
What do you mean? He's taking his health into priority.
How long does
the health of his bank account?
Yeah, how long does he need to get healthy?
I don't know. As long as Derek Carr's there to play.
Well, what, 6-7 years from now? I mean, when Jameis is older than Derek Carr?
I'll tell you what. Backup quarterback in the NFL, I wouldn't mind having Jameis as my team's backup. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying if you need a spot start or a half of football out of a guy.
Blaine Gabbert is your guy.
Hey, Blaine Gabbert was busy partying it up with Tom Brady.
Yeah,
and
he looked good.
Did you see that, though? That was the funniest shit ever.
Did you see his body?
Saw that. Yeah, he looks great. He looks chiseled. But it was this big picture, and everybody in the media was so excited. Look at this big Patriots reunion. Julian Edelman, Gronk, Tom Brady playing on the beach. I think Danny Amendola was out there, too.
Yeah,
what is the news? What you guys are pretty wired in on this. I'm sure there's a huge market for Blaine Gabbert. So what's happening with him right now? He's got to be the #1 free agent quarterback.
Look at him right there, Brian. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yep.
How good is he looking?
Come on, he's hanging out with all the retired guys. You think he's worried about?
Look at him.
He's looking like a guy who's been a backup quarterback for
he's
5
backing
years.
up. He's even backing up on the
he's
on the
even
beach.
the backup on the beach.
He's excited.
They couldn't even give him one of the spare footballs for the photo.
He just loves Tom Brady's farts so much that he always wants to be downwind of him.
Well, wouldn't you like Tom Brady's farts?
I mean, I'd
get some paid.
Well, think about it. Think about it this
up.
way. Think about it this way. If you're Blaine fucking Gabbert with the NFL career that he has had, now he is in the cool kids club. Now he is officially hanging out on a beach with Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, Patriots legends, and white mothers everywhere. Would give anything to go to the beach and see those guys running around shirtless. And now Blaine Gabbert's in the mix. I mean, I don't know if he's going to go back to playing football ever again.
Whoa, breaking news from 8 days ago. Blaine Gabbert has interest by the Raiders. Blaine Gabbert was visiting the Raiders 8 days ago. I mean, he could be Jimmy G's backup.
Well, I guess the thought process is if you backed up Tom Brady, we want you with Josh McDaniel there, right? We want you to back up Jimmy G. That actually, of all the things in the world, makes a little bit of sense.
I mean, they got rid of Jarrett Stidham.
I mean,
right?
it actually makes a little bit of sense. Like, what guy spent more time with Brady over the last 2 seasons than Blaine Gabbert?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's... Look, the guy's trash as a football player, but he may be a wealth of information that you bring in to at least have that perspective and that mindset. If Jimmy G forgot anything from his time backing up.
Hold on, there looks like more breaking news right here. The Detroit Lions are interested in bringing in Blaine Gabbert.
And this is breaking news from 10 days ago, though. So I think that other
even more timely
from 8 days ago is more accurate.
I mean, look, Brian, that's 2 teams right now.
I will tell you right now. That's one more team that's interested in Aaron Rodgers and one more team that's interested in Lamar Jackson.
Maybe there's something with Blaine Gabbert.
So Blaine Gabbert
know.
is the most sought-after quarterback in the NFL, if that's true.
Listen, he's a superstar. He threw 35 passes, I think, as a Buccaneer.
Did he really?
I think the article I just had up said 35.
In games?
Yeah, he threw
practice
between last year, the final week of the year against Atlanta, and then he also came in and threw a touchdown to Gronk against Detroit when the Bucs were up like 47-0.
Right here, Gabbert spent the past 4 seasons with the Bucs as a backup with limited playing time with just 35 passes thrown. His arm is fresh, Brian.
It is fresh.
His arm is fresh.
The Bucs should be maybe thinking about signing him as a backup.
No.
No, we need him. His arm is fresh. He's ready
too good to back up these 2 quarterbacks. That's the problem.
Oh, is he?
You can't create that controversy in the QB room where your number 3 quarterback should be your number 1.
That's very true, Brian. And I'm glad that you're turning the page here on Blaine Gabbert. I think
really coming around.
So
to
here's
boy.
okay. So
I think Delmary Dan should be wearing a Blaine Gabbert jersey when he goes to the games.
Here are the current quarterbacks that are available. Shockingly, Carson Wentz. Shocking.
That is a shock.
Actually, it's genius of Carson Wentz right now to wait, because if things fall through with the Jets, or if things fall through with Indy, maybe you got to well, not Indy. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't think that
ship has sailed.
So I think if things fall through with the Jets, if you're the Jets, do you ride out the rookie that you just completely said we have no faith in? Oh, not the rookie now, but Wilson.
Yeah.
Or do you bring in a guy like Wentz to take your lumps for 1 season?
Who's the other quarterbacks, Brian?
You got Matt Ryan.
Okay, next.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Next.
Mason Rudolph. Joey Flacco, Blaine Gabbert, Chase Daniel, Trevor Siemian, Brian Hoyer, Brandon Allen, Josh Johnson,
Bucs legend,
Nathan Peterman, Jeff Driscoll, Brett Rippon, John Walford, Trace McSorley, and Bryce Perkins.
I'm still waiting for somebody that you would actually pick. Did you say Blaine Gabbert?
I did say Blaine Gabbert. But I also said Chase Daniel, so, there's that too.
I guess maybe I'd bring in Matt Ryan as a backup.
No, if you're the Jets.
Yeah, Matt Ryan.
Not as a backup. You've destroyed the confidence in your rookie in your kid.
I mean,
you pretty much said we're looking for anybody but you at this point.
There's another quarterback I know who's going to be looking for a job here in 4 short weeks. He's busy lighting dumpster fires over in the XFL. That's Paxton Lynch.
Yeah,
putting on for the 0-6 Orlando Guardians.
That's so bad that they brought in Quentin Flowers to light a fire under Paxton Lynch.
And still hasn't lit anything on fire.
He doesn't even go by Paxton Lynch anymore.
Well, he goes by Pax.
It's a different name on the back of his jersey, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, was that him? I thought maybe they got rid of him. I turned that game on.
See, I thought.
Are you sure it's Paxton Lynch then?
Then maybe the highlight that I saw was just labeled incorrectly. But it was a little YouTube short.
Well, no, I saw what you're talking about. I saw the Guardian. I saw him on the quarterback.
Guardians, yeah.
The quarterback, and it didn't have his name.
Paxton,
that's what I'm saying.
Paxton
Yeah.
Lynch is their leading passer with 748 yards on the season.
Lynch is not the name on his back in his XFL jersey.
Well, is this the old XFL?
No, this is this year.
I know, I was kidding.
Oh, but my bad.
Can they name anyone they want?
No.
So Paxton Lynch has thrown 60% completion, 59.6, 737 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Sacked 16 times on 109 passing attempts. Oh, my goodness gracious. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being a fan watching that and every sixth time your quarterback drops back to pass, he's sacked?
He's getting his ass.
I mean, whooped. God.
Isn't that the coach that came out and said that he needs good players?
Just look at the Orlando Guardians roster. You might be able to find it up there on top.
They are a bad football team, man.
Are they?
They are bad.
Yeah, they're so bad. They're the worst in the XFL. Really carrying on the tradition that our lime green Warriors from a couple of years ago.
It is kind of crazy to me. They bring in Quentin Flowers and they only use him for 2 carries. Like
that's the guy right there.
They haven't given him a shot to throw passes.
Yeah, that's the other QB.
Yeah, Quentin Dormady is the guy that played last week.
Yeah. I wonder what his stats are.
Wow, DeAndre
he's 66.7% completion, more yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, also being sacked 7 times in 87 attempts. But he has a slightly higher rating. But the team as a whole almost getting sacked once every 9 pass attempts.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
Bad.
That's pretty crazy.
Look at this guy's pitcher.
You know who I miss?
Who?
The Orlando Apollos, man. Undefeated. 8-0 championship season.
Wow.
They gave them rings and everything.
Were they fake?
The Alliance of American Football. You remember that for 5 minutes?
Yeah, wasn't Dearness Johnson on there at that team?
Trent Richardson was playing with Birmingham. I think Dearness Johnson was on that Apollos team.
He's now been signed by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So now not only do we have a Florida boy who went to college in Florida, he's playing on a Florida team.
Believe it or not, that happens a lot more than you might think.
I know. Dedrin Senat, just re-signed by the Bucs.
Yep, vet minimum $1.06 million.
Yep.
Good rotational guy. And Lummy, we were just talking about it the other day. I cannot wait to be talking to you here in a couple of weeks as we gear up for NFL OTAs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bring back Gerald McCoy, because it's going to happen.
And Dearness Johnson was on that Orlando Apollos team, which was led by quarterback Garrett Gilbert.
And Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach, baby.
He averaged 5.8 yards per carry and 10 yards per reception, accounting for 3 touchdowns on that championship squad. Garrett Gilbert, 60% completion, 2,152 yards, 13 touchdowns versus 3 picks.
Back up in New England right now.
Only sacked 9 times in 255 attempts.
How about that?
So
that's a championship offensive line, in my opinion.
I mean, let's face it, that's what wins championships.
Well, listen, that's what the old ball coach.
Why did the Chiefs win this year? Why did the Chiefs win this year?
Because they went all out on that O-line last year.
Because Patrick Mahomes has an amazing arm.
Because he had time to throw.
And he had time to throw.
They were 7-1, by the way.
He could hit his receivers.
They did not go 8-0.
Yeah.
Oh,
they had a minor blemish, a mere flesh wound.
He could hit his receivers in stride.
Yeah, it's but a flesh wound. Still world champs, baby.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rhett, for coming in here, even though Brian upsets you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hopefully you're able to.
Thanks for having me.
Fiery redhead next to me.
Brian, enjoy the opening day tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you there.
Yes, we'll catch up with each other, I'm sure. We'll meet in the porch.
Yeah.
Where are your ticks?
Or maybe we could see the good band next door after the game.
Oh, are they there?
Who knows? Probably. But maybe we could go and talk some more shit about it.
Golden Retriever Infant is going to be playing?
Yes, Golden Retriever Infant. Mike probably. I haven't looked
Where
it
are your seats?
Down the first baseline.
Oh, you actually pay for good seats. I got outfield, but I prefer outfield. Like if I go to a baseball game, that's where I like that all the action comes towards you.
Yeah, we're toward the outfield.
Oh,
by the
okay.
bullpens.
Oh, so you're in like the corner there?
Yes.
Yeah, I hate those seats.
Me too.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
they're great. My wife bought them and I love them.
Oh,
just like I love her.
Who bought them?
My wife.
Yeah, those aren't. Did she not have a shot at outfield? They're so much better, and it's a better value.
We get a little more room out there.
Oh,
Walk around with Walker because no one ever sits in those.
Well, it'll be sold out. So good luck with that.
Yeah, I'll see that one. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We are live tomorrow right here on your rumble.com/The Bubba Army, YouTube, The Bubba Army, Facebook, The Bubba Army, 6 a.m. Don't forget all your Bubba Army merch. Go to Bubba Army Shop, BubbaArmyStore.com. We will see you next week. Thank you.